Day 13, page 38 to 39. And then finally, on a bright Saturday morning in May, Edward and Evelyn and Mr. and Mrs. Tulane were all on board the ship, standing at the railing. Pellegrina was at the dock. On her head, she wore a floppy hat strung around the flowers. She stared straight at Edward. Her dark eyes glowed. "Goodbye," Evelyn shouted to her grandmother. "I love you." The ship pulled away from the dock. Pellegrina waved to Evelyn. "Goodbye, lady," she called. "Goodbye." Edward felt something damp in her ears. Evelyn's tears, he supposed. He wished that she wouldn't hold him so tight. To be clutched so fiercely often resulted in wrinkled clothing. Finally, all the people on land, including Pellegrina, disappeared. Edward, for one, was relieved to see the last of her. As was to be expected, Edward Tulane exacted much attention on board the ship. "What a singular rabbit," said an elderly lady with 3 strings of pearls wrapped around her neck. She bent down to look more closely at Edward. "Thank you," said Evelyn. Several little girls on board gave Edward deep glances full of longing. They asked Evelyn if they might hold him. "No," said Evelyn. "I'm afraid that he's not the kind of rabbit who likes to be held by strangers." 2 young boys, brothers named Martin and Amos, took a particular interest in Edward. "What does he do?" Martin asked Evelyn on their second day at sea. He pointed at Edward, who was sitting on a deck chair with his long legs stretched in front of him. "He doesn't do anything," said Evelyn.